All right, we're live on the YouTube. Um, bam, getting live on that. Looks like we gotta turn off these lights. They're not working well, not being conducive to the success here. All right, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. It's not quite. I don't have a bulb in there anymore. All right, all right, all right. That is the best. We are going to make it happen today, folks. Hello, hello. My name is Mr. Ryan. I am the Yinzer therapist. Here we are yet again for another Mindfulness Power Hour where we get to talk all things mental health. We hopefully take some time in for ourselves to focus on our self care, to focus on our mental health, to talk about our gains, our losses, our wins, our successes, our trials and tribulations of life. Because life is very lifey nowadays, and people can sure as hell be very peoply nowadays. So now more than ever, do we need that self care? Do we need to take that time in for ourselves and be kind to ourselves, right? So I appreciate you guys tuning in today. I appreciate whether you're watching it live, whether you're watching on the replay. All right. However, you get your wellness on, I am here to support it because, again, we need that kind of wellness in this world, right? So, if you're new to the live stream, your first time tuning in, what we do here within this space, within this platform, is to do everything we can to normalize talking about our mental health, to share our stories. This is a stream for anybody and everybody out there that wants to get a little healthier, to understand a little bit more about mental health, to know a little bit more about coping skills and wellness strategies and things that we can do to help ourselves get through this world, right? Um, that's what this stream is about. It is for people that are burnt out and tired and exhausted from day to day life. People that are fed up with the world and how it exists and wants to find the ability, the means to do it better. Right? That's what we're here for. Right? We're here to learn, to share. Right? My goal is to make this a collaborative process where we can join together and talk about our mental health. That Yins guys can share with me what you're going through, what is working for you, what isn't working for you, right? And each and every week, this has kind of become my video log in a way, my video journal, where I'm challenging myself to show up each and every, almost every week. Um, to see where I'm at in life, to see how I'm doing with my to-do list, right? How I'm doing with my accomplishments, my goals, my dreams. Am I moving forward with my ideals? In a way, I hope that these video series can serve as almost a video time capsule of where I'm at in my journey, where I'm at in my life. And I hope that I'm able to look back on these videos down the road um, with good thoughts and good feelings of that's where it got started. That's where it all began, right? It's a big part of this from the get go has me getting my reps in, right? Me showing up and getting used to presenting, getting used to being on camera, being used to being that leader, right? Because I want to host workshops, right? I want to get out there and teach the world how to do these things, which I'm actually going to be doing, right? That's actually what the coping skill demonstration is for tonight. Is a preview of the festive brain humming workshop that I'm planning. I am going to be going to the Saging Space brick and mortar store down in New Kensington, Pennsylvania. And we're going to be doing a whole Yule kind of thing that day. I'm going to kick things off with a Yuletide brain humming workshop where we're going to use the power of our own voices to activate that vagus nerve and make our brains produce all those happy brain chemicals, right? But instead of using the traditional sounds of brain humming is a more traditional sound sequence. We're going to be using words from the holiday season, right? I think it's going to be an exciting spin on the brain humming exercises that I've definitely displayed here over the year. Um, so it'll be a lot of fun. And that is Sunday, December 21st, noon p.m., $10 charge to get in the door. We're going to do some Yuletide brain humming, and that'll be immediately followed by a Yule potluck, and then kicking off an Eco Stewards meeting where, and that's a whole Saging Space thing. If you're interested in what Saging Space is doing there with the Eco Stewards program, I can provide you that information. Definitely give you all the information about their Yule potluck that they're having. And we can definitely share, um, we can hopefully share the brain humming workshop that we're going to be doing, right? It's going to be good times, good fun. So I'm really excited for that. Um, it actually reminds me, I still got to sign up for the one wellness fair that I want to do in January. And then I got to check in with this other lady that I'm planning a series of workshops in my local community center. So I'm going to make sure I put that on my to-do list. So, parent workshops. So one of the things I talk about with all my clients, is how to activate the brain, how to hack the brain and optimize your functioning, right? So for me, what has worked is this to-do list. It's a simple little notepad here. I write every little thing that it is I need to do, whether it's work stuff, personal stuff, family stuff, workshop, whatever it is, I write it on here. And then with the way ADHD brain works, right, is sometimes we want to do the thing and sometimes we don't. So by doing it that way, I always should at least have something that I can pull from and get done, right? So I'm going to make sure I follow up with those spring workshops at the Plum Community Center. Um, but yeah, all right. So it seems like the self promotion is still not doing what I want it to do. Still sitting here talking to myself. So I'm gonna definitely have some work to do. I think that's part of my New Year's resolution, is to work on what I can do to build a better audience here. What I can do to get people to tune in live. Is it a bad day? Is it a bad time? I thought about moving this more to like a morning show. I am much more awake and functioning in the morning. But for my schedule to help all the clients I have, it's been easiest just to put it at the end of the day, right? When I'm done meeting with my clients after all day long, to hop on here for an hour or so and do more of what I've been doing all day, right? Um, so yeah, so here we are, Mindfulness Power Hour, talking about our mental health. I call it the Mindfulness Amateur Hour because I'm definitely still working on my production value, working on the different ways, and like I said, production value, getting it out. Look, again, forgot to attach the goddamn microphone. I've been talking here for 8 fucking minutes. Forgot to attach the fucking microphone for the YouTube stream. Um, I love my ADHD brain. Sometimes, man, sometimes. So being this is, my stream, and there's definitely very few people showing up here live. I still kind of get to use this as that video log and get to talk about the things that I want to talk about, right? So one of the things I love to use this time for is to kind of make note of what I've been doing self-care wise, right? What are those investments I'm making in myself? Have definitely still continued to slack on my powerlifting. It has definitely been very hard to get back in that routine this fall. It has been several months where just not starting, stopping, not getting it going, just not doing what I need to do there for my powerlifting routine. I haven't been to the mall in a little bit to get walking. I haven't really been doing much, honestly. Life has been very, very lifey since we had that situation, that tragic situation that happened on my wife's birthday in October. And then rolling through Halloween, all the birthdays, rolling through Thanksgiving, getting ready for Yule. Um, just I have not been doing right by myself in that regard. I'm still working with the meditations, still working on having that mindfulness. Still working on eating right and sleeping right and all those good things, but just not following through with the self-care, right? And that's what I like about this stream is even if I can't get the people in here the way I want to, right? I haven't built the audience. I love that it at least keeps me accountable, right? I at least have to sit here each week and look, am I doing the self-care? Am I doing the things I tell my clients to do all the time, right? And am I following through the way I need to, right? And I think it's apparent in a lot of ways. Nope, I'm not. That's definitely something we're going to be looking for, right? I think it's definitely something I'm looking to retool and get figured out as we get through the holidays. What I'm worried about is I'm going to start saying, "Oh, that's next year's problem. I don't need to worry about that workout routine right now. That's next year's issue. That's for next year." I can get into that trap, and I definitely don't want to do that. That is for sure, for sure. Um, so yeah, so self care, it's definitely been a lacking, lately. What about Yin's guys' self care? What are you doing for your self care? Comment, share, and let me know what's going on. What's up with your self care? What's working for you? What would you like to do? What would you like to change? What is maybe a hobby that you'd like to start, right? Because hobbies are happiness helpers. I'd love to hear from Yin's guys on what your self care is looking like. Um, the other thing that I always love to do with this space, right, is talk about our gratitude, what we're appreciative of, what we're excited for, happy for, right? What is going well in our lives, right? What is working for us? It's an important piece of the process, right? Is we spend so much time talking about the bad, the things that aren't working out, the things that aren't good for us, that are making us angry, that we don't always talk about the things that we like, that are going well, that we're grateful for. I think it's definitely a very important part of this space here, is to do that, right? Is to talk about those things, is to share what is going good, what we're grateful for. So, what I would say that I am grateful for today is my job, the flexibility that my job presents itself. My youngest daughter was sick earlier this week. Was not able to go to school for 2 days. Being a therapist, I don't get vacation time. I don't get PTO. If I don't work, I don't get paid. But due to the flexibility of this gig, right, I was able to move sessions from in person to virtual. I was able to move sessions off those days to other days, right? And I was able to be home with my daughter, hanging out, watching Christmas movies, hanging with our pug dog, all that, and not stress about it, not worry about it. There wasn't a boss that I needed to ask permission for. I just did it. I'm always very grateful and recognize the flexibility that my job provides, and how much my family can benefit from that kind of flexibility. Like today, I got to take that same kid, that youngest one, to the dentist. Next week, we got a well visit. My high schooler, my middle child, she's got a dentist appointment, and to be able to kind of take off of that time and move things around, it's a wonderful thing. Sometimes with the jobs that we have, with the bosses we have, they don't always give a shit. They don't always let us take off work when we need to. They don't let us be home with our family and have those sick days. That could be a real problem, right? It really can. So I'm always very grateful and appreciative that I have that ability. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome thing. So yeah, again, I have so much I want to talk about, so much I want to do, so much energy for this during the day, and then I get here and it's like brain go and just all the things fly out the window. All the things I want to share, all the things I want to talk about. I definitely been slacking with making my notes of the things I wanted to share and talk about during these streams. Again, that holiday stress, man, it's a thing. It's a thing. But that's another reason why I keep showing up for myself during these streams to take that inventory, to take stock of where I'm at in life, what I'm up to, where I can improve, what I can do more. And hopefully, by enough time talking to myself here, refining my techniques and things like that, I'll be able to figure this shit out, and I'll be able to build an online community. I'll be able to build a following, and we can continue to normalize talking about mental health, improving and healing the world, right? I'm excited for it. So being that I failed to write anything down, being that I don't have really much else I want to speak on today, you know, we're doing what we're doing here. We're trying to continue to heal the world. Uh, one thing I did want to note, again, trying to use is that video time capsule idea, right? I did interview a lady to be hired as a co-accomplice, right? Another person to help me out down here to work alongside me. We're in the preliminary talks of establishing the contract and what the logistics would look like. But it's looking good. It's looking good. I sent over preliminary contract stuff. We're working on getting the credentialing to insurance companies. It seems like it's moving forward there, and I found somebody that shares my vision, my passion, and wants to grow with me and help change the world. Right. So definitely want to make sure I keep noting that process of where I'm at with expanding my practice, hiring new therapists, hopefully increasing my location and things like that. Um, so the coping skill demonstration, right? That is one of the biggest things that I always want to spend my time doing here, right? Is yes, I want to talk about mental health and I want to share different things. But one of the biggest things I want to try to keep advertising, keep promoting here is that every mindfulness power hour, we're going to do a coping skill demonstration. There's going to be some coping skill, some wellness strategy that we're going to review, that we're going to go over, right? That we're going to talk about because that's the name of the game for a lot of us, right? His life is very lifey. People are very peoply. It is very tough out there, right? We need as much skills and activities and distractions and things that we can do to help us get through, right? Just because the world is going to shit does not mean we got to go to shit with it, right? We can do something else. Um, and what I want to do today, right? What I want to share with these guys today is a preview of that mindfulness workshop we're going to be doing on December 21st at Saging Space in New Kent, right? That is the Yuletide brain humming workshop. It's festive wellness to soothe Yinz's soul, right? Uh, so what that's going to be again is a brain humming workshop, but instead of the traditional brain humming sounds and all that, we're going to be using words from the festive season, right? Because the thing of the thing about it, is the vibrations, right? It's the vibrations that activate that vagus nerve, that activate that brain space to produce all those happy brain chemicals, right? So really, as long as you're getting that vibration on, it helps. It works, right? It does something. So what we're going to be using again is different phrases from the holiday season to accomplish that kind of vibration, that kind of healing, right? So what I want to do for you guys tonight is kind of test it out a little bit. See how you guys out there think about it, see if it works or not, right? But we're going to do 3 different phrases, right? We're going to do each of those phrases 3, 4 times, right? Because it's the repetitive nature of it. And then we're going to see how we feel, right? So part of that means we need to set the stage, right? So if you're watching this live, if you're watching it on the replay, let's take a big deep breath in. Let's hold it. Breathe out. Right? Right? As I love to say, in with the good shit, out with the bullshit. Right? Let's take those deep breaths. Let's center ourselves. Let's see where our brain space is. Let's see how our body feels right now. Right? Um, and then we're going to get started here. So, as I always say when I lead these workshops, do what you can do. Don't hurt yourself. Don't overextend. You don't have to match my pace, match my tone, anything like that, right? But try your best to get the vibrations going. We want it to be as loud as our space will allow us. We really want to feel those vibrations in our body. If there's somewhere in particular in your head, like a headache, tightness in your chest, your belly, please feel free to put your hands there. It'll help channel the vibrations to wherever you're feeling that ailment, right? So, the first festive phrase that we're going to use here is Rudolph, right? Now, to get this to be the brain humming, we wanted to try to extend that out as long as we can. So this is just a tester. This is to show you this guy's had that. But this is what brain humming would look like using the word Rudolph. Okay. All right, last one. Present. I think I'm on to something. I think I'm on to something. The next phrase we're going to do again, we're working on that 3 times. The next phrase we're going to use is the brain humming to activate that vagus nerve to flood our brain with those happy brain chemicals, right? The next thing we're going to do is crystal. Okay? Okay, we're going to try 3 times here. Take that big deep breath in. Mistletoe. Mistletoe. Last word, ready? Listen to it again. Mistletoe. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh man, this is good stuff. This is good. So this will be the last one for today. All right, this will be the last piece of our mindfulness power hour for today. We're gonna do my favorite part in this song. It might be your favorite part in this song too. But what we're gonna do here is 5 golden rings. Right? Remember, trying to get it is that brain hum. And we're trying to stretch it out as much as we can, use as much volume as we can to send those vibrations through our body, activate that vagus nerve, flood it with all those happy brain. Right? Let's do it. 5 golden rings. It's going to sound something like this. 5 golden rings. Vibration sound. All right, do it again. 5 golden rings. 5 golden rings. All right, all right. Final one. Final part of our couple demonstration today. Ready? 5 golden rings. I love it. One of my favorite skills is always a delight to do these kinds of demonstrations on here to show you guys how to work to take care of yourself, how to push back against that stress, right? It is definitely a thing. I'm still not really getting the traction that I want. Still not getting the numbers that I want of people showing up here and joining all this goodness with me. But I'm having a blast. I'm enjoying myself. I'm proud of myself and continuing to show up here each and every week, right? This is, I believe, Mindfulness Power Hour 22 or something like that. I missed a couple of this and that. Things have gotten wonky, but it's definitely been an experience. That is for sure. That is for sure. So yeah, guys, that is it for tonight's entertainment. I always appreciate this opportunity to check in, to talk mental health, to spread that wellness, to encourage people to get their wellness on wherever they are. Right? There's only so many people that are going to find their way to my therapy office or in my Zoom room. Right? There's only so many clients I can meet with in a singular day or in a singular week. Using platforms like this can help me get my message out there, help me continue to heal the world, and work so hard to make this part of the world sparkle like a motherfucker. Right? I will continue to work on my self promotion. I will continue to work on getting that word out there. But what I need from you guys is to like, comment, follow, subscribe, and share the shit out of this stuff and all my online content. And let's change these algorithms. Let's get away from the brain rot. Let's make our feeds full of good, healthy mental health content so we can do battle with this world and manage our stress effectively. Thank you guys again. Please tune in next time. Next week's Power Hour will most likely be on Wednesday, as I have some things going on the next few Thursdays. But we're going to figure out the schedule for the end of the week. Please check out my channel, Digital Therapist 37. Stay tuned for all those updates and things like that. And in case this is the last Mindfulness Power of the year, see you guys next.